Hi everyone, this is Bonnie from Backward Story. Welcome to my first vlog for Top 10 Tuesdays. I won't be doing this every week, but this week I thought it was important to include a video post because the topic is books that we've bought based on their cover and or their title. And I also wanted to add books based on their blurb, because sometimes I pick up books based on what the blurb says too. So sadly, it is really late at night, so it's dark in here. I should have done this during the day, but I didn't have the idea until just now. The first book that I picked up based on the cover is Eyes Like Stars by Lisa Manchev. I just think this cover is extraordinarily beautiful, and it made me want to read it. In fact, the entire series has pretty covers. So I love that cover. Same thing with Hourglass. I was struck by the unusualness of this cover the first time I saw it, because it looks like she's standing, but really, she's walking on the wall, and the ceiling, the floor is beneath her there. Sorry, it's late, I don't know what I'm saying. Love that cover. The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. This is another cover that I thought it was one of my absolute favorites this year, and I love the final version of it. It looks even prettier in person, but this was one of my favorite covers this year, and the first reason that I wanted to read the book before I knew what it was about. The cover for Divergent by Veronica Roth also had me wanting to read this book, and it was dystopian, so the summary sounded great. There's so much about this book. I love the cover for the new book coming out, and this series just has fabulous covers that would make me want to pick them up if I knew nothing about the series. And Wither by Lauren DiStefano, absolutely my favorite cover this year. I am obsessed with this cover. It goes around the side, you turn it over, there's an image going on in the back, and as I've showed you guys before, every single page has design going on, and I'm just seriously in love with this book, both inside and out, and I wanted to read it after seeing this cover. So those are 5 teen books. Here are 5 adult books I fell in love with based on the covers. First one is Mermaid, and the subtitle is A Twist on the Classic Tale, and it's by Carolyn Turgeon, and it says Mermaid. Do I need to say anything more? I saw this at the store. It said Mermaid. It made me want to read it. The first time I saw it, I thought the cover actually just looked like a girl's neck. It took me a long time to realize that it's actually her back going this way, and she's got a tail. For a long time, I just thought it was a girl and her neck, and it said Mermaid, and then I figured out it was the Little Mermaid. So this definitely had me pick it up because it says Mermaid. So that one was definitely a title. Made in the USA by Billy Letts. She wrote Where the Heart Is, which was a movie with Natalie Portman a while back. But I had been browsing through the bookstore before going to see, I think we were seeing Rent maybe that night. And we were just waiting for the theater to open up, looking at what books had come out. And this cover was so pretty. I'm actually really glad that I bought it in hardcover. Originally I waited for it to come out in paperback to buy it. And the cover just isn't as pretty in paperback, so I had to get it in hardcover. And then I donated my paperback to my brother's girlfriend. The Book of Heroes by, where's her name? There she is. Miyuki Miyabe. She is a Japanese writer who has been translated into English. And this title made me want to read this book because I like books that are about heroes. And then I love the illustrations and how there are books everywhere. I love books that are about books. And, I've lived in Japan, so I was curious to read something that had been translated by a Japanese author. And this book, I definitely picked it up based on the title and the cover. The Rose Labyrinth by Titania Hardy. This is one I picked up because the cover is so intriguing. You take this snap closure off, and then you can open the book, and it has this manuscript that goes along with the book, and you open it this way. It's actually the book that you can pull it out right here. It pulls out of this slot, and it's all tucked away, and the cover is just completely unusual, and that made me want to pick it up. That and It's supposed to be similar to the Da Vinci Code and Labyrinth by Kate Moss, and so I just wanted something similar to that. And then The Map of True Places by Brunonia Berry. This was my first exposure to her. I actually saw this book first as an ARC at work, and I thought the ARC was gorgeous. The cover was gorgeous, and it made me want to read it. And I like that it has been blurbed by Lisa Genova. She wrote Still Alice and Left Neglected, and it says, masterfully woven, kept me reading at the edge of my seat to the very last page. So this cover made me want to read it, and I picked it up, and I just fell in love with this book, with this author, with everything about it. I love the title, so this is definitely a book I picked up on a whim based on what it looked like. And then here are a few books that I picked up solely because of the blurb on them. The Year of Fog by Michelle Richmond. This has a recommendation from Library Journal that says it's highly recommended for fans of authors like Jodi Picoult and Jacqueline Michard, and they're two of my favorite authors, so I needed to try that out. The book Looks by Madeline George. This is one that cover girl was talking about at one point because the cover design is actually quite brilliant on it. And when I saw that the book was blurbed by Robin McKinley, actually she says brilliant right there, I knew that I wanted to read this book. The Glamorous Double Life of Isabel Bookbinder. This is a blurb from the Mail on Sunday that says, if you like Sophie Kinsella's Shopaholic books and you miss Bridget Jones, then meet Isabel. And I've never read the Shopaholic books, but I love the Bridget Jones books. I have them right up there next to my Traveling Pants books. But I love her books. Helen Fielding is hilariously funny, I think. And it's about a girl who is a bookbinder, and I love books with books about books again, so that made me pick that up. I discovered Diane Chamberlain because of this particular book, Before the Storm. It has a quote by Mary Alice Monroe that says, Diane Chamberlain is the Southern Jodi Picoult, and again, I love Jodi Picoult. And then the last book that I discovered based on a blurb was The Rest of Her Life by Lara Moriarty, and it has a short blurb by Jodi Picoult on the front, and then on the back it has a fuller blurb by her and a blurb by Jacqueline Michard. And let's see, Jodi Picoult says, are the sins of the parents visited upon the children, or vice versa? Laura Moriarty's raw, honest novel about an ordinary family whose life changes in one extraordinary moment resonates like an emotional tuning fork. You'll be asking yourself what you would do in this situation long after you finished reading. And Jacqueline Michard says, Laura Moriarty writes with unflinching honesty and clear-eyed compassion. Her characters are as real as mirrors, and sentiment never crosses the line to sentimentality. Laura Moriarty can do this surpassingly well. I carried this book everywhere I went. And I don't have a copy of the other book that I wanted to tell you that I picked up based on the blurb, but it is Girl of Fire and Thorns by Ray Carson. It looks like this. But yeah, I was choosing between that, Daughter of Smoke and Bone, and what's the name of that book? You know, the one with the girl with the braid that's turning into a snake on the cover. I think it's like Shifter or Shifted or something. Anyway, the book was blurbed by Tamara. I'm not positive how to pronounce her name. I always hear her say Tammy in interviews, but anyhow, she called the book engrossing, so I decided that was going to be the one that I read, so I picked up Girl, Fire, and Thorns, which I will officially purchase next month when I go and get my copy signed. So these are the books that I am including in this week's Top 10 Tuesdays, and I cannot wait to see what everyone else has chosen, and I will talk to you again next week. Bye!